Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a woman who was known for her greed. She wanted more than she had, and no matter how much she received, it was never enough. She would always look at what others had and wish to possess it for herself. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I have an interesting story for you, a tale that teaches us a valuable lesson about greed and its consequences. This story is called The Tale of the Greedy Woman, and it is one that will make you think about how our desires can sometimes lead us into trouble. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a woman who was known for her greed. She wanted more than she had, and no matter how much she received, it was never enough. She would always look at what others had and wish to possess it for herself. Her neighbors often warned her, saying that greed never brings happiness, but she would never listen. One day, while walking in the market, she saw a beautiful jewel. Its shine and sparkle caught her attention, and immediately she desired it. The jewel was expensive, but the woman could not resist. She thought of every possible way to get it, even if it meant lying or cheating. She believed that possessing the jewel would make her life better and bring her joy. The woman saved money for weeks, sacrificing her daily needs just to buy that one jewel. Finally, she had enough and purchased it. At first, she was very happy. She showed it to everyone and admired its beauty, but soon the joy she felt began to fade. The woman noticed that the jewel did not give her peace, nor did it make her feel fulfilled. She wanted more, thinking there must be another jewel even more beautiful than the one she had. Her greed started to grow. She began borrowing money from neighbors, promising to return it, only to spend it on more luxuries. She did not realize that every action she took was creating problems in her life. The villagers began to notice her behavior and warned her again. Greed is dangerous. It can ruin your happiness, they said. But the woman ignored them. She believed that only by having more could she be happy. One day, while walking near the river, she saw a merchant carrying a chest full of jewels. Her eyes sparkled with desire, and she decided she must have those jewels at any cost. She followed the merchant, thinking of a plan to steal them. She was so obsessed with her greed that she did not notice the slippery path near the river. In her hurry and excitement, she slipped and fell into the water. The jewels were lost, and the woman struggled to save herself. The villagers rushed to help her. She was pulled out of the river, wet and frightened. In that moment, she realized the danger of her greed. The fear of losing her life was far greater than the desire for jewels. She understood that her endless craving had brought her close to disaster. After this incident, the woman reflected on her actions. She saw how her greed had caused stress, unhappiness, and danger in her life. She thought about all the people she had ignored and mistreated in her quest for more possessions. Slowly, she decided to change. She started helping her neighbors, sharing her remaining possessions, and being grateful for what she had. With time, her life improved. She felt peace and happiness that she had never experienced before. She learned that true satisfaction does not come from material wealth, but from kindness, gratitude, and contentment. The villagers noticed her change and praised her for becoming a better person. The woman had learned a valuable lesson that she would never forget. Greed brings only misery, while contentment brings joy. The story of the greedy woman teaches us an important moral lesson. It reminds us that no matter how much we have, endless desire can destroy our happiness. When we focus too much on accumulating wealth or possessions, we often forget the real joys of life, like family, friendship, and inner peace. True happiness comes from being satisfied with what we have and appreciating the simple things in life. This story also shows the dangers of ignoring warnings. The woman was warned several times by her neighbors, yet she continued to follow her desires blindly. Often in life, people ignore advice and guidance, thinking they know better. But this story reminds us that listening to wisdom from others can prevent unnecessary suffering. Another lesson we can learn is about the importance of self-reflection. The woman only realized her mistakes after facing a dangerous situation. In our lives, we may also face challenges because of our greed or impatience. It is important to pause, reflect on our actions, and make changes before things get worse. Self-awareness and learning from mistakes are key to living a happy and fulfilling life. We can also see how greed affects relationships. The woman's obsession with jewels made her borrow from neighbors and focus only on herself. This created tension and mistrust. Greed often pushes people to ignore the feelings of others, and over time, it can damage friendships, family bonds, and trust. Being generous, kind, and fair to others helps build stronger and happier relationships. This story is simple, yet it carries a universal truth. Greed is not just about wanting more material things. It can also be about wanting more power, attention, or success at the cost of our values and relationships. The consequences are always similar: stress, fear, and unhappiness. On the other hand, practicing contentment, gratitude, and humility leads to a peaceful and meaningful life. It is easy to get caught up in wanting more, especially in today's world, where we are constantly reminded of what others have. Social media, advertisements, and peer pressure often make us feel that our lives are incomplete. Stories like this serve as a reminder to focus on our own journey, appreciate what we have, and not let greed control our actions. Finally, the story of the greedy woman is not only about material possessions, but also about personal growth. She learned from her mistakes and transformed herself into a better person. Change is always possible, no matter how long someone has followed the wrong path. What matters is recognizing the mistake, taking responsibility, and choosing a better way. So, this tale encourages us to pause and think before giving in to our desires. It teaches us to be mindful, to practice gratitude, and to value the happiness that comes from non-material things. By learning from stories like this, we can live a life filled with peace, kindness, and contentment. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the story and its lesson. Remember, being greedy may seem tempting at times, but it never brings true happiness. A life of simplicity, generosity, and gratitude is far more rewarding. Always appreciate what you have and share with others whenever you can. That is the key to a joyful and fulfilling life.